Joining us now is, as Susanna said, Joanne Dove and also Superintendent Nick John, who led that investigation. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for coming in. It's just an extraordinary case to hear, Joanne, and to read. But you lived it, you've experienced it, and it's taken everything from you, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it has.
Talk us through what happened and how it came about that these men who were from a high street bank, so the sort of bank, you're not the bankers that we read about in the newspapers who are in the city,
no.
At a high street bank that you trust, that HBOS, were able to take all this from you.
Yeah, I was banking at Southampton branch and I was turning over about 1.2 million. I'd just secured £500,000 orders from Boots the Chemist, John Lewis Co-op, and I needed £200,000 to cover my expansion plan. And so I went to see my local branch, but they said I had to be referred to a team called Intensive Care, who basically come review your business. And it's from that business review I was loaded with so many charges from different people they'd send in, like Michael Bancroft, who's now charged, came in 5,800 for a couple of hours. And they didn't tell me in advance, we're going to charge you. They just sucked it out of my bank account.
You just assumed that was part of the service that they were offering in return for the loan?
And the modus operandi was that they would basically come into your company, suck out loads, leave you to the last minute before they loaned you the money that you want. They then redid my figures and said I needed 3 times the money that I'd asked for, which I thought was highly unusual for a bank to offer you 3 times the money that you'd asked for. And they made it a condition of lending that I put Michael Bancroft on my board. And they also made me pay him a salary, which went up from 18,000 a year to an additional 10,000 a month after a few months. So my business was just hemorrhaging because this wasn't money that was invoiced to me where I had a choice. It was money that was sucked out of my bank account.
And you lost in total?
I lost millions because I lost everything in the fight to basically sustain my business. They just were trying to get hold of it, to take control of it, and I had threats, bullying, swearing in my face, and they wanted a majority shareholding so that they could take it over and loan themselves more money.
Most importantly, it's after 6.5 years, over 150 staff, costing Thames Valley Police several £1 million to investigate, we're able to take one step further down the line of closure for the likes of Joanne and the other victims in this matter, who've had their lives destroyed. Yeah,
what kind of jail sentences are given out in these cases where lives, you know, have been destroyed, really?
Well, the sentencing is a matter for the judge. Obviously, there are sentencing guidelines which will range depending on the counts for which they found guilty. But ultimately, I think the verdicts that were delivered on Monday of guilty for a number of the individuals that were charged just shows how seriously the matter is taken, how Thames Valley Police have worked incredibly hard to bring these offenders to justice.
What the trial has done is expose that the bank did its own internal investigations and has known about this for a very long time. So at the time I wrote to complain, they ignored me. After the reports were done and Lyndon Scowfield was sacked, I wrote to them and wrote to the whole board of directors, and there was no proper investigation. We lobbied our MPs, we had a debate in the House of Commons, we went to the FSA, we've done all the things, we've been to every single authority in the land, and everybody said, gosh, that's terrible, but nobody's actually done anything about it. And there was a meeting with our MPs, and James Pace is quoted in the Daily Mail as saying that he realises now that the bank totally just lied to him, and he is calling for compensation, because it is time for the bank to say, look, we imposed these people on your board and put you in a vulnerable situation and asset stripped, and then sometimes stole the companies as well.
Yeah, well,
and took control.
Hope you get the compensation that you deserve, because it is sickening for you to see those pictures of people using the money that you had worked hard to earn